Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to the corner of my kitchen. I'm going to share with you today the things that are like the bare bone necessities for massage school. I hope this is helpful. I am mama to a 1-year-old and a full-time student, and it has been a wild ride, but a great one. And so let's get into the list. So there's three like main categories of things that you'll need. There's stuff you'll need for like academic venture, there's stuff you'll need for your clinic, and then there's things that you should probably look into for self-care, because massage therapy is a really physical field, and even if you plan on doing something different with your massage license, like energy work or Reiki or like Thai massage, once you graduate, you do still have to get the clinical Swedish hours of doing like what you think of, what people think of when you mention like massage. So I have a basket of things here. So let's start with school, because that's the easiest. You need whatever books that your school wants you to have, and however you would like to take notes. In addition, most schools you're going to need some sort of a laptop or an iPad. The school I go to is really flexible, and so I can do everything on my phone. I do have a laptop. It doesn't work the best, but if I needed to, I could use that. And then another thing is you might want to get a printer. I've been able to get away with just going to the library and printing things once a week when I need to print, but again, that'll depend on where you go to school. Where I go to school, they're very minimal on their usage of technology. It's a lot of hands-on stuff, which is good because that's usually how people who go into massage therapy, that's usually how their brains learn best anyhow. Then the other thing that you'll need is whatever your school wants you to wear. So where I go, it is black scrubs or black top and bottoms that are like professional looking or similar to scrubs. We have more flexibility than most people I know. Some places are like khakis and a polo, some places are scrubs. So find out, and you'll have to invest in that and really adhere to the uniform, because that's very important. It's like your first, the first way you present yourself professionally. If you ever want to own a business someday, it's especially important. So then the next category is for clinic. So in clinic, there's more things you need. Those include sheets. I highly recommend just getting plain old twin size sheets. You don't need to get massage table sheets. They do the same thing. I can show you how to put a pillowcase on a massage face cradle if that's needed, but you'll need sheets. I highly recommend darker colors. I don't love microfiber, but that's what's cheapest, and while I'm in school, that's what we're doing. Recommend looking alternative places for those. Worst case scenario, Target has microfiber sheet sets for $9 a pop. So almost everybody has a Target within driving distance of where they live. Just threw them in. The other things you're going to need are oils and a bottle and a holster. So I'll link my Amazon Essentials like down in the description, but I highly recommend Body Linen. They're a small business. They have like an Amazon storefront, and their holster holders are super durable and amazing. And then as far as a bottle, I recommend the darker color because they can keep the oils from going rancid as quickly. I love glass, but I am clumsy, so I have plastic. I can, and any old bottle will really work. I really love the kind though that when you twist it to turn it off and twist it to like let it pump again, that way you have a less risk of spilling oil like in your car. The other thing is like oil options. Two of my favorites are jojoba oil and coconut oil. You can get coconut oil in MCT oil is what it's called, where it's like fractionated and already liquid. That way you don't have to like scoop it out and try to keep things sanitary. And then jojoba oil is great because sometimes coconut oil, people are allergic to it or it causes breakouts for some people. So jojoba oil is my go-to, coconut oil is my backup. Highly recommend them. So then the other thing that you may need for school is a table. You may not need a table. It's nice to have one if you can, because when you're practicing at home, you have like on your friends and family, if that's allowed where you go to school, then you have a place to do that. But it's also not the most affordable thing. So if you have to wait, it's really up to your school. But my teacher advised that we waited until we knew what kind of table we wanted. And so several students waited several months into school before they even looked into which kind of table they were going to purchase. So I have one of the like master massage tables. I got it on Facebook. I highly recommend checking out like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, things like that. Of course, like keeping safety in mind, because they have, even if there's like a little bit of a blemish on the table, no one's ever gonna see the table. Like, you want to make sure that it's one that you will like using, right? And it's a good quality one. Like, I wouldn't just go to Amazon and pick a random table. Do some research. Massage Warehouse is a good place to kind of look into reviews and what tables you might be interested in. And it also depends on like the population you're working with. Do you plan on working with elderly people? Then you probably need a hydraulic table that you can push a button and it goes up or down based on mobility. Do you plan on working stationary in one spot? Then either set of table would be fine. But if you plan on doing mobile massage, you don't want a hydraulic table because that is way too heavy to like stick in a car and roll around, you know? So it's up to you, but I talked to your teachers and your classmates that are like going through clinic and other therapists and kind of get their opinions and see what's best for you. And I'd put it off a little bit if they're not like dead set on making you get a table right now, because something will come up for a better price. And like, don't spend $500 on an Earthlight like foldable table. They go on Facebook all the time for like 100, 150. So just like my 2 cents. In addition, you'll need like a hamper of some kind. I highly recommend either one on wheels if you like have to walk a ways for where you park when you're going to school, or a backpack hamper, but it's important that you don't use a mesh hamper. And this is going to sound really gross, right? But is what it is. When you're working with people, different people have different levels of hygiene and different things going on in their life. And so you don't want to take body lice home. You don't want to take bed bugs to your house. So you want a hamper that doesn't have holes in it. Like, I've got a backpack one that cinches up, and then I've also got like a plastic Rubbermaid tote that clips closed, and I use those 2 things to transport sheets back and forth. And then when I get home, they immediately go in the wash. That means right now we just have piles of laundry on our couch because the circulation of our own laundry is different. You can also look into paying a laundry service or using a laundromat, but that's more expensive and time consuming than I'm willing to invest in right now. So immediately into the wash. If you let your sheets sit in your car, they will stink forever. So don't let your sheets with hot oils, like, because the oil will go rancid and there's a special bacteria that just smells disgusting. So it's important that you wash them very, very quickly. And for like infection control purposes, I prefer either a hamper that's hard with a lid or something that doesn't have holes, like not any mesh bag situation. And then I guess the only other thing is, if you don't want to use oils, if you prefer to use creams or lotions, then you need that, and you need some sort of a dish that can go in. So like you could even use like a ring dish, or you could go to the dollar store and get those little like small glass ramekin dishes. But I highly recommend checking out thrift stores and alternative stores like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Gabe's, Ross. Like stores like that are going to have some of the things you need, including sheets, for way better of a price than like you could get that same brand somewhere else. So recommend it highly. And then the last like category is like extras and self-care. This is my favorite part. So extras are anything that you're interested in learning more about that you're allowed to work with in school. So like cups or gua sha or tuning forks, sound healing stuff, if that's something you're interested in, manuals on Chinese medicine, meridian massage, things like that, trigger point therapy workbooks. You could, you know, spend all day on Amazon making a whole list of all these things. But what I've told you so far is like your bare basic essentials in that list. However, self-care. You're going to want something for your muscles. You're going to get sore. Your wrists are going to be tired. I highly recommend an arnica cream of some kind, and I can put some of my favorite creams in my Amazon essentials also. This is just like a menthol rub. This stuff is pretty good too. But something for your muscles for when you had bad body mechanics or when you've still getting used to doing massages. The other thing is I really like having a box. This is just like a cheap IKEA box, but I love that it has this lid that rests in and is flat, has a little lip. So I put what I might use in my session in this box, and then I put the tray next to the box. So when I use a thing, it goes on the tray, and I can take the tray out with me when I leave the client to get dressed again, and I can clean things and sanitize them and put them back. So, or disinfect, technically, not sanitizing, if you want to get super technical. So extras or things for self-care can include like cups. I really like these silicone cups. I'm not a big fan of the hard cups. They kind of scare me. I haven't had formal training in that kind of cupping, so I won't be using those until I learn more about it. Gua sha tools. These are black jade. This is like a traditional jade gua sha. I like to use these like on the scapula and if I'm like doing work on someone's back or their face. It's a fun way to use gua sha tools. And then the other thing is for like the self-care category. A lacrosse ball or a tennis ball or 2 or 3 of them if you can. Foam roller for massaging out your muscles. And something that's grounding. So for me, my teacher at our school helped us each make like, we had an aromatherapy session and we got to make what we wanted. And I picked a lot of grounding oils to make a really good smelling, not really like a perfume, but kind of like a perfume and oil-based Scentsy spray. So I spray it on my wrists and I smell it and I can visualize myself grounding and like roots going into the earth, and it helps me to like stay more focused and grounded in what I'm doing. And then the other main thing I would say is like emotional self-care. So transference happens, it's not great. You have to like develop skills to prevent that from happening. But transference is when you're working on someone and let's take like a super hypothetical example. Maybe you had something tragic happen in your life, and then you have a client that you're seeing that next, that has had a similar tragic thing happen that has happened in your past, and now it's like all right here and in your face. And there's a level of like professionalism that you need to always hold within your sessions. And so something else that could be helpful is either like a journal or setting aside like a little bit of a buffer time in between sessions. I like to journal on my phone, and I like to like kind of like think through that and then pretend to put it in a container so that I can deal with it later. But transference does happen, and so you also need to have some sort of emotional self-care going on. I think everybody should go to therapy. Everybody needs it at least at some point in their lives. It's but yeah, so something for your emotional self-care and well-being, whether that be like therapy or journaling or a yoga practice would be phenomenal. And then the last thing for self-care, I know I said that the last one was the last thing, but you need a spiritual movement practice. whether you're religious or non-religious, or you don't have to make it a spiritual thing. If that's not your thing, that's fine. But yoga or qigong or tai chi, any of those movement practices, phenomenal. You need to be stretching, strengthening, and mobilizing your body, or you won't be able to work for very long. So the idea that you only have a couple years in you as a massage therapist before you get injured is, you need to be thinking about career longevity, and that's one way that you can really help yourself long term. But those are my absolute favorites and essentials. I'll link for you down below some of the my Amazon Essentials link, and it'll have some of the things I've talked about. If you have any questions, if you want to talk more about self-care, if you want to hear anything else about massage therapy or yoga training or anything else that I'm doing, please feel free to comment below. And I hope you have a great day. It was nice talking to you guys today.